Love here. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when future videos are out. Continuing this review of comic books I'm reading at the library, or trades that I've read, is another volume, 9 issues, of something I have not read before, but I heard about, but I never read the issues until now. And that was War and Remembrance, 9 issues of the John Byrne and Roger Stern run on the Captain America book. And it was comics at its finest. It's why you enjoy comic books. It's just comics, superheroes, and enjoyable reading. Roger Stern is considered, especially back then, maybe even now, but back then he's considered one of the best writers, okay? He really researches his characters and he gets the voice of the character right. And John Byrne, still in his prime, not only artistically but as co-plotting. You see Captain America interact with villains like Machine Smith, Batroc, Mr. Hyde, what's his name, Baron Blood. You got Union Jack in there, a retelling of Captain America's origin. It's fun comic books, okay? And when you look back on it, I would say this is also the introduction of Bernadette Rosenthal, who became one of Cap's romantic interests in the 1980s. You know, it's kind of funny though, the least fun aspect of the book was his social life. You know, Peter Parker, outside of the costume, his personal struggles, the drama, the characters he interacts with, the civilians, it's probably one of the best out of the costume characters that Marvel or DC has ever had, because you really care about who's under the costume outside of the superheroics. But you know, when I mentioned Operation Galactic Storm in a previous video, after the Galactic Storm ended, Captain America tells Hawkeye that he tried being a civilian. And again, that's like reference to this War and Remembrance book. He was being an artist, he was trying to support his own little apartment and the few apartment social friends he had. And Captain America says, you know, he tried having a civilian life in the past, but it doesn't work out. That he's used to being an Avenger, he's used to interacting with other superheroes. He's not used to being a civilian anymore. And the least enjoyable aspect of this fantastic run is the civilian life. You know, he's living in an apartment, trying to financially support himself, being an artist, okay, to make income to support himself, because he wants to be on his own. But he's an Avenger, he knows Tony Stark. He could be living in Avengers Mansion. He could be... Why does he have to have a job? He's Captain America. Why does he have to be a civilian? You know, it makes no sense. It's not interesting. It's boring. It's not enjoyable. And he's right. When I read the Galactic Storm Aftermath, and when you look back on it, Captain America as a character, he functions great when he is with other superheroes, when he's with the Avengers, when he's interacting with other superpowered characters and heroes. But if you try to put him, Steve Rogers, as a civilian working a regular 9-to-5 job or a civilian life, it doesn't fit. It's boring. It's not really good. It doesn't fit the character. And I never noticed that until I read that storyline, until I read those captions, that, you know what, it makes sense. It really does make sense. Captain America the book, Captain America the character, only works best when he's interacting with S.H.I.E.L.D., with Nick Fury, with other superheroes and other characters. But if you try to give him his social life, where he just interacts like a Peter Parker or just interacting with normal people, it doesn't work out. It doesn't feel right. And, you know, back then in the 80s, they really tried to give Steve Rogers, the character, that civilian life I'm talking about. They really tried to establish him out of the costume. And yet you look at the 1990s, 2000, the current Captain America, how he is now. It only works best when he's a superhero being a superhero, you know? And why does he have to have a crummy apartment and getting a job having to support himself when if he really wants to be on his own, which is supposed to be why he's living on his own, I'm sure he could get Avengers money, or Tony Stark could say, I'll give you a couple of whatever, 100,000, 200,000, doesn't matter to a billionaire like Tony Stark. Get your little place. It's funded by the Avengers, you know. It doesn't make sense for Steve Rogers to be a civilian living in an apartment, interacting with a social life like that. It doesn't read well, you know. But the 1980s, that was something they were trying to establish. And it just, nah, it doesn't work. Even when they revitalized Captain America in the 1960s, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, guess what? When they had Cap book, he was interacting with the Avengers, S.H.I.E.L.D., all these other superhero characters or spies or something interesting. He was never just a humdrum civilian life out of the costume interacting with normal people type guy. Doesn't work. If Stan Lee and Jack Kirby couldn't get it to work, I don't think anyone else could get it to work properly, you know? So, but definitely, that's a little off topic, but it was still an enjoyable run. Roger Stern, John Byrne, Remembrance, 9 great Cap issues overall, and some of why comic books are fun, you know? So that's it. Leave a comment, subscribe. Hope you like this video, want to see more, and thanks for watching.